Over the past weekend, one MLB reporter put out a recent article that had a lot of speculations about the Baltimore Orioles and had a lot of fans guessing what could possibly happen next. Welcome to Orioles Digest. I'm your host, Kam Brice. And before you do anything, drop a subscribe button and come join the family. This past weekend was very interesting for Orioles fans. There was a recent article from The Athletic that had a lot of people guessing what's happening. Ken Rosenthal from The Athletic said, interesting, Luis Castellano has increased significantly after the New York Yankees signed free agent lefty Max Fried to an 8-year, $218 million contract. Now, Castellano is 32 years old. He's owed less than a third of that amount, but $68.25 million over the next 3 years. Fried turns 31 on January 18th. Is a superior pitcher, but 3 times better. Now, also in this article, he said, the Baltimore Orioles, Chicago Cubs, Boston Red Sox, and New York Mets are among teams to acquire on him, according to league sources and reports. This is good news for the Baltimore Orioles and its fan base. Luis Castillo has been one of the best pitchers in MLB over the last 5 seasons. Now, I know there's been recent reports about the Orioles also interested in Dylan Cease. They have yet to talk to the Padres about a potential trade package, but you could offer the same trade package for Luis Castillo. This will bring me to my next topic. What could a possible trade look like, and how would it impact the Baltimore Orioles? Now, if you look at Luis Castillo's stats the past season, they weren't that pretty, but 3.64 ERA. That's still one of the best in the majors. 175 strikeouts. 1.169 whip. He's still doing things he can do, and even at 32 years old, he's still one of the best pitchers in the MLB. Now, the interesting thing about this, 175 innings. That's a lot of innings for a guy that's 32 years old. There's always an injury risk when you're trading for a pitcher who throws and eats up innings. That's why I think the Baltimore Orioles were hesitant on bringing a guy like Garrett Crochet in, because he's been hurt over the course of his career. And if you bring in a guy like Luis Castillo, a high contract that you're going to take, and let's take a look at his contract. Over the next 4 to 5 years, he's expected to make over $25 million. Now, do the Orioles really want to invest in a guy who's expected to make over $25 million? I am not sure. You can go out and get Dylan Cease, but you would have to offer him basically the same contract Luis has. Now, you could trade for this guy. He's already on contract. And if you're not liking it within 2 to 3 or 4 years, you can end up getting off his contract. But who's going to trade for a guy who's making approximately almost $29 million a year and is at the 35, 36-year range and has a high 4 ERA? The Orioles don't want to be put in that tricky position. Backup option. The Orioles have to have a backup option if Luis Castillo does not work out. Now, in this same article, there was another topic the Orioles were risky and talked about that a lot of people probably would not agree with. According to sources, free agent righty Jack Flaherty is one fallback option for the Orioles. If, as expected, they fail to re-sign Corbin Burnes, the Red Sox also cannot be ruled out for Flaherty. They liked him last offseason, only to see him sign with the Detroit Tigers, a league source said. So if this is your backup option, I wouldn't complain. Jack Flaherty is a guy who's been proven in MLB. He's going to be a successful guy. It just takes him a while, but I'm not sure about how he's going to fit in this Orioles rotation or on this team. We saw the last time, the fan base, the team, it just didn't connect with him. His whole attitude just wasn't good. It just felt like he didn't want to be a Baltimore Oriole. So now, does Jack Flaherty really want to be a Baltimore Oriole? Does he want to take a smaller contract from the Los Angeles Dodgers, go to San Francisco Giants, possibly even go to the Red Sox or Yankees? I don't think he would be that interested in coming back to the Orioles. 28 games last year, Flaherty had a 3.17 ERA. That's very good. Jack Flaherty was dominant at times last season, had 194 strikeouts, almost reached 200 strikeouts. A lot of pitchers don't do that in only 28 games. So Flaherty was dominant at times. There was a lot of games in the playoffs when he helped the Dodgers and he propelled them to the World Series. So this is a guy who's pitched in the postseason, had success with the Cardinals, the Dodgers, and had success in the regular season as one of the best pitchers in the MLB with the Detroit Tigers last season. So it's getting tricky. Do the Orioles bring back Jack Flaherty? Do they give him a second chance? At first, I was pondering around this article and I was like, it's no way you can bring back Jack Flaherty. He's not a good team guy. He's not a ball player. He just won't be successful. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's a good option. It's a good player that you have to bring back. His mechanics has gotten better. His fastball is all the way up to 99 miles per hour. The last time he was with the Orioles, his fastball was sitting at 68. Spin rate was off. Curve wasn't hitting. The splitter wasn't working. But now that he went to the pitching mechanics, he got everything in the different systems. He's back to the old ace Jack Flaherty was. Remember when he was with the St. Louis Cardinals? He was one of the best pitchers in baseball, and he came to the Orioles, and everything just went flat. But he switched that up when he went back to the Dodgers. Everything started to get better. So I think if Mike Elias and David Rubenstein doesn't have any else plans, Corbin Burns doesn't return, if you can't get Sean Manaea, if you can't trade for Dylan Cecil or Luis Castillo, Jack Flaherty is a good backup option. I know a lot of people might not want to hear it, but Jack Flaherty is a guy that you could possibly bring on this team. It could be very good. It just will take some time to get used to him. And if you know baseball, you know that sometimes situations change for different players. Sometimes a player can come back to a team they haven't played in the last 5 years, be a completely different player. It just changes. Sometimes he was going through something mental. You don't never know what other people is going into. But Jack Flaherty is a guy that I think is a good backup option. Only if you cannot trade for Dylan Cease or Luis Castillo. But that's all we have for today, folks. Make sure you tune into the Orioles Digest. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Do anything you want. Turn them post notifications on because we will have more episodes coming daily.